We interrupt our program to bring you a special broadcast. The German news agency Transocean
Here's another late development.
Today is the 12th month of the year, on the 29th day of 2017. And I am packing my bags so I can go to the Rose Bowl and support my younger brother and those Georgia Bulldogs. I had a dream last night. I know I'm not Martin Luther King, but I had a dream last night. We were up 21-0 at the half. 21-0. Baker over there, he's league down, so he's not worried about this team anymore. And to be honest, that's all he really has is that Baker kid. If this isn't right, I can easily edit it out. So on my polite version, good luck to both teams, but go Dogs go. And I would like to welcome you guys to the second 1.2, because the first audio recording that I did between me and my good friend Eric, who's going to be my co-host for that first 1.3 video, was a little bit shaky, and I feel you guys deserve high quality end products. And you know, a big part of why I wanted to do this podcast was because everyone's doing one. And besides that, there's a disconnect going on in our community, in our life, and a lot of it can be attributed to social media, which is crazy. We have more than 110 ways to communicate with somebody, yet we find it difficult just to do the bare minimum of keeping up with each other. And a lot of that is attributed to life and the things that are going on. And just because things are going on in your life doesn't necessarily mean that you should be disconnected completely from the people within your life. So I'm going to give you guys a short little jab right here, because to be honest, I don't really have that much to say on my own. But for all intents and purposes, this is going to be the structure of the video, the structure of the podcast. And I'm going to just give you guys a little bit about myself and, you know, what to expect from this podcast, what to expect from me, how often I post. This is very impromptu, as, like I said, I'm planning on giving you guys a good 30 minutes. Might seem shorter, might seem longer on your part, but I'm doing this as a way of reaching out and reconnecting with the people that follow me or are trying to keep up with the things that I'm doing. Because unless you're just in my circle, you really don't know what I'm doing. And I know I have at least $12,000 worth of ETO supporters out there who have been watching me grow and build this program from scratch, and it's thriving in a way that I never expected it to. But besides ETO, there's just so many other things going on, and I feel like since the year is about to start again, as much as I hate the New Year, New Me mantra, it's very important for you to always find a second in your life to refocus and ask yourself what your goals are, and kind of set a standard for it and put it out there for the world to see that you've claimed your stake in the matter and you're going to stand by it. So as it stands today, my goal is, as always, become the best version of myself that I could ever be, which is very vague, but I'll zero in on three things that I feel that are definitely going to make me a better version of myself in 365 days. For sure, one of them is continue my steady progress in medical school. In addition to that, get ETO completely off the ground with the official launch date, because the production cycle is finally coming to a close. We're doing our final bug testing and getting the final kinks out. And then third, for sure, is get my comic book published. And these are all things I'll be talking about on the podcast from time to time. But I don't want you guys to feel disconnected or feel like if he's not talking about something pertinent to me, then I can't listen. This is a podcast that's kind of open to all topics and all genre, And based on the people I have on the show with me, will really say a lot about, what I'm doing and who I'm doing it with, because the people I interact with on a day-to-day basis and the people I talk with are people who really bump heads with me sometimes, people who agree with me sometimes, but more importantly, they're like people with their own space and mindset. And I always like to hear those things and present them to you guys. So I'm already trying to line up a list of interesting individuals who are all out there trying to make it in their own way. And I want them to be able to have another platform for them to speak on their product, their ideas, their dreams, their goals, their aspirations. And with my little following of 600 strong, I hope that I can get them interested, or get you guys, rather, the listeners, interested in other things that I might find interesting. For sure, co-host is going to be Eric and Jeremiah Anderson. Let me do a little digging. And I know for sure we're going to try and have my good friend Just Joy, my good friend Joy, who is currently working on her own hair care product, come on the show and talk to you lovely individuals about that and how she wants to change her hometown for the better. My second co-host, my second guest, I'm really trying to get a young entrepreneur who started from the bottom, now he's here. My boy Dupla Shane, the Skywalker himself, come in and talk about his little enterprise and how he grew. And then from there, just in general topics about anything you guys want to hear us discuss. I feel it's really important for us to be able to not set a certain standard. We can talk about anything. But just to give you guys a little bit about myself, I am hitting you up from the Dallas. Well, right now I'm not in Dallas. Right now I'm in an airport. I'm being delayed. My flight is being delayed. I'm highly upset. But instead of me sitting there and pouting, I decided to just go ahead and give you guys a little beat of the podcast. I am in a captain's terminal. I'm using the perks and allotted tools from my job to sit down in the captain's lounge, which is pretty nice. They had all the good stuff. It's kind of disrespectful with the stuff they leave you guys on the outside. Get your freaking flyer miles up so you don't have to sit in the common man area. But I'm heading over to the Rose Bowl now. I should have been there 2 days ago, clearly, because my sister got to go to Disneyland. And she took pictures with the weirdest characters. She took a picture with Captain Hook. You go to Disneyland, you don't even get a picture with Mickey Mouse? I'm kind of disappointed. But I feel like Mickey Mouse at Disneyland probably has a busy schedule. He probably has to be everywhere. Is there only one Mickey Mouse at Disneyland? They have to have 7 of them, right? They have to have not even said, probably 20. Because I can't imagine going to Disneyland and not seeing the mouse. I'd ask for a refund back. But that's just me personally. So I missed all those festivities. I don't know. Maybe because I can only ride on the teacups because I'm too long. Being 6'5" and all. But so happy she got to enjoy herself, take pictures of that. The other twin is there. Luke, the man in the hour. So I'll be catching up with them shortly, but I'll definitely be at the game. I'll post some pictures up here because by the time you guys see this, the editing would have been done. I don't know how I'm going to edit this. To be honest, this is going to be a one-off thing for now because I won't really be able to focus on this till after the 19th, which is when I'm done with my first semester and I can really focus in on it. And I hope that you guys can find your way to, I'll put the links in the description below, but hopefully by that time also I'll have another of my first video going up for my comic book and my first video going up for ETO. And I guess I'll just start off by talking about those main projects. ETO is a mobile application. It's like Yelp reviews for city officials. You'll be able to go on there, find city officials, rate them, view comments on them, and view interactions that people have had with them. And it'll also function as a high-end recording device that will allow you to send direct messages to people within your circle, in your crew on the app, about situations or altercations you might be currently witnessing and put them on a map. Most people really look at maps collectively as a unit of type in an address and it gives you directions to there. But the ETO map is designed in a way that you find people on the map. You find departments in the map, and these departments will be filled with the civil servants in question. So if you type in the White House, obviously Agent Orange will show up. Tiny Hands himself, aka Orange Malone, BK, Baby Fingers. Baby Fingers will show up, and you can write your reviews about him. You can write your comments about him, and not only just get your feelings or rather frustrations out, but more importantly, get facts on these individuals. There will be a place where people can ramble on for days, but there will also be a peer-reviewed fact section on each civil servant that gives the details as we know them and as they've been reported. So things can be retracted, nothing's set in stone. Believe none of what you hear and only half of what you see. But the important part is for you to be able to have an objective idea of someone. For as bad as Agent Orange is, he has done some good, and that good might not be directly as a result of him, but an indirect effect. Say, for example, his election required him being elected into office led to one of the biggest protests known to the 21st century of the United States, and that's nothing to sneeze at, because for all the hate he brought, so much love was given in return. And those are things that you can look at and shine a positive light on. But ETO, I have at least 60 videos talking about just interactions I've had with civil servants. I've also done previous interviews with police officers and firefighters. Shout out to my boy Nick and Pork Chop and my homeboy Darnell. They all were gracious enough to let me take an hour of their life and put it on camera. And it was really nice to get that perspective on them. These are awesome men in my life, and they've done a lot of great things. And I want people to know that. A lot of people look at my channel one-off and say, oh man, he's just a cop hater. And that's far from it, because anyone who knows me knows I got my master's in forensic examination. So I work for the man that you say I hate, which is strange. And it's also very gratifying, because it keeps me to a higher standard as well. I feel, there was a time where I felt I was a little bit intimidated by the powers I had in order to change people's lives and outcomes in other people's lives based on science and technology. All it took was me to make a mistake in reading one piece of information, and somebody could go to jail for years. And with that in mind, it changed my perspective on how people should use the power they have. And that's a big part of why I invented ETO, because I wanted to make sure that power isn't being abused. And if it is, it's snuffed out immediately, effectively. And I'm really big on being proactive. Protesting and all that great stuff, you'll never catch me out there donating to said causes. I'll do it, not a problem. But more importantly than anything, is getting people actively aware and how to do something. And a big problem with our society is that things get lost in translation too quickly. Think about how today's date is today's December 29th, 2017, and if I asked you what was the most significant shooting in the last 3 months, most people would say the Vegas shooting, while a great percentage of you guys would be like, well, no, there was a shooting right down the street from my house. Or what happened in the bombing in so-and-so place. Or what's going on here. And right after the shooting, what happened next? We got the Weinstein and the Me Too movement. Then right after that, what's going on? Oh, we're talking about North Korea and their bomb crazy selves. And about baby fingers over here antagonizing them. So there's so many things that just get in the way of people trying to speak clearly and decisively about situations that are happening in real time. So it's important for your platform to be something that once you grow a following, it also pushes people to be cognizantly aware of what's going on every step of the way. And that's sort of what I want this podcast to do, because I don't watch TV. The reason why I don't watch TV is because I don't have cable, because they took net neutrality from us. No, but that is pretty sad. I don't have cable. I just don't know what it would do to benefit me. And since I haven't watched a football game on TV in 2 years, because here's a secret, you can watch it for free online. But the news can't be your only source of information. As a researcher and someone who has written 38-page reports on kidney biopsies, I find just getting your information from one source is troubling. And that's a problem that we're having right now in our current atmosphere. I'm not above reproach. I know I'm going to be wrong about things. More importantly, I'm okay with being wrong about things, as far as you can teach me the right way to do things. I have very pointed information. I have very pointed perspectives on things that people might not find comfortable. I don't hesitate or shy away from making people uncomfortable. I feel bending people makes them better. Teaching people to adapt to stressful situations makes them better. And the people who don't enjoy those situations don't really grow. And their growth is hindered by their own timidness or fear of the unknown. As far as I'm concerned, a great story I like to tell is, like, you thought, as great as we think Jesus was now, if he came back today, we'd probably do the same thing to him now. We'll crucify him again, because we're not comfortable with things that are different than us. And remember, this was a guy that was going around changing water to wine and making fish and food making matter out of nothing. I'm sorry to say, like, if a dude came up and gave me a year's supply of fish, I wouldn't want to nail him to anything. I'd probably chain him up in my house, because that's free food. But they took him out. So these are the concepts that I use to reason with. I use things that people will readily admit to, and then use that against them. So that is my way of dealing with conversations and questions that I'm posed with. And don't get it twisted for even a second. I want to hear your opinions. I want to know what makes you tick, and that is a big part of what this podcast is about. Like, I'm gonna give you guys information on where to send your questions and how to reach me. We're still in the beginning process of this. Like I said in the beginning, we're gonna get the contest up in a little bit on how to name this podcast. If you really wanna expedite that, because I won't have a name up for this podcast yet. But if you have a suggestion on what you think the name of this podcast should be, you should definitely tweet at me. I'm not going to put Eric or Jeremiah's Twitter handles out there just yet, because I don't know if they ready for that type of popularity. But I got popularity. I got 128 people follow me on my Project DTO page. But if you want to give a suggestion about what you think the name of this podcast is, you can @ me on Twitter at Project_ETO. That is at Project_ETO. Hit me up on the Twitter. Let me know what you think the ample name for this podcast is. And we've already got some really good suggestions, and I don't know if all of them will make it, but the most popular one right now is definitely going to be the Help a Hero Out the Help a Hero Out podcast. That was a good one that I came across. Another good one, I'm gonna go down the list, name off some people that we got one from my boy Tony. We Don't Always Wear Capes podcast and No Capes Needed podcast. I thought that was clever, really funny. One from my high school wrestling coach. The I Never Scored a Takedown on My Coach podcast. He's got tons of jokes. For all you that didn't know, I was all-state qualifier, regional, sectional, conference champion 2-3 times. I don't know. I lost count. But I was a big deal. And my wrestling coach, kudos to him. He's never coached a heavyweight that didn't make state qualifying rounds. So I think talented people found him, but he definitely thinks he puts talents into other people. I don't know. But I definitely dropped him like a bad habit, and I'm pretty sure now he's had some lapse in memory because I definitely dropped him. And if he's feeling brave and bold, I plan on coming back to Chicago real soon. And I don't mind lacing it up real quick to teach you a lesson, Coach. My cousin out in Chicago, he's got a podcast too. I need to get his information on here. His whole family's winning right now. You want to speak about people just winning? The Atagoon family is winning right now. If you don't know who these lovely individuals are, I need to formally introduce them to you. The oldest sister right now is a Nigerian Olympic bobsledding qualifier right now, and she's going to the Olympics for the second time in a different sport on a 180-degree plane. Like, she was a hurdler from Houston. She got in the Olympics via that, and now she's qualifying again. Man, she's amazing. Like jaw-dropping amazing, the things that she's accomplished. And if you were there when you first saw her trying to sum up courage, a lot of people frowned upon her. You got to be out your mind. One, Nigeria's never had a female bobsledding team. I don't even think they've ever had a male bobsledding team. So the fact that she was able to not only build her bobsled from scratch to the extent that it was good enough to qualify, then she got all these fun. And the golden rule is if you make it on Ellen, you've won. Once you've made it on TV dancing with Ellen, you've made it. So and sure enough, she's been on. I'm gonna post as much as I can find about that in the description below. But I got 8 minutes left, or 7 minutes and counting. So I'm gonna just speed this up as we think about the names. Hero and Friends was the suggestion tune they made, which I like. My good friend Michael from college, he gave me the reference heavy. This is only for comic book nerds extraordinaire. The Identity Booth, a great reference from a panel in the comic books of Superman, where he was first trying to figure out where he was going to change into Superman from Clark Kent, and he said, I need to make this quick. I need to make this fast. I need to change my identity and in a hurry. So that was a great reference. Heroic by my boy Aaron. That was a good one. John Keith with the sentence. It takes a hero and true heroes. That was a good one. My boy Justin Billings. Good old running back from the college days. Hanging with Hero. The Skywalker himself, Duplashane, everyday hero, which I really like, and my good friend Jim Bob, Jim Bob, get it right, heroes, great, all great suggestions. We'll narrow it down between me and my podcast co-host, and we'll put out a poll and get a vote going on. And I'll put that poll up pretty soon, so you'll see that poll before you definitely see this video. But definitely, I want your input. That's how much I want you guys' input. I'm willing to let you name my podcast, and I appreciate y'all not putting me through the dirt. I'm happy to also say that my first suggestion for the podcast was the Talk to Him podcast, but apparently my friend, I don't think I'm very vain. I'm cocky for sure, but a lot of everyone's making a play on my name, which is super funny. Let's go to Instagram real quick. If you want to check out my Instagram page, you can I have the Instagram page for ETO, which I don't have it up right now, but I'm just looking at my main page, and the suggestions I got here, saving hoes since, hey, that's funny. I won't put you out there just because it might be a little bit derogatory, but that's funny. Once again, I got the Help a Hero Out podcast. That's a good one. Soon, a podcast frequent. My good friend Ayla Bell with the No podcast. She's upset because I'm pretty sure she's waiting on me to finish her video on her new YouTube channel, which she's gonna get up and running as soon as I have a free chance, because she just refuses to go out and get her own camera and learn the skills and trades of the software life. But I'll keep harassing her on that until she decides to get that done, and I'll be able to get her information out there. But a lot of great suggestions, a lot of great things going on. And as far as this podcast is concerned, we're gonna try and tie up some loose ends. But like I said, you guys can reach me for sure on Twitter at project_ETO. I also have a Facebook page if that's more your groove. The Facebook page is also going to be, as my phone loads up as slowly. Yeah, you know what? Think about suing Apple because of their bullshit tactics that they used in order to slow down people's phones. I have an iPhone 6, and if you're a person of high quality and great taste, you can also admit the last great iPhone ever made was iPhone 6 Plus. So I'll probably never buy another phone because that's the last phone that they made that has the headphone jacks. I don't know what Apple thought was their great idea with that, but they have done nothing to help themselves in the industry of getting me to buy a new phone, because I'm not buying a phone unless I can use a headphone jack with it. Wanna know why? Because headphone jacks are everywhere. Like, I wouldn't be able to record this podcast without a headphone jack. I have a little pen mic, I plug it into my iPad, and then you're able to hear me. I can't do that on iPhone 10. I paid $1,000 for a phone and I can't even use the headphone jack. I'm gonna calm down. But the Facebook page is Project_ETO, and that's where you can find my fan page on ETO. The great thing about podcasts is that this might actually be up within a day, because I don't edit these things down very much at all, and I have less than 2 minutes, so we'll wrap this up real quick. You guys can find me on Project ETO Facebook page, or you can find me at Project_ETO for Twitter. I'll post the Instagram link below. You guys can reach me at all these locations. I'll also put down the email if you want to put down something that requires more than 101 characters or whatever the new... Oh, damn. Plane crash outside? Anyway, I need to hurry up and get to my gate. It has been a blast. It's been a pleasure. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this first podcast. Please check out the YouTube page. You can definitely reach me there. Project ETO. That is where you can find anything about my app and mobile upcomings. But and the Stranger comic book has a YouTube page and a Instagram page and a Twitter page, which I'll be posting all in the description below. I'll also be putting information on my co-host and whatever they plan on having underneath their thing. But for all intents and purposes, thank you guys so much. It really means a lot to me that you guys are able to meet me at this crossroad, and a new beginning, a new adventure. 2018 is going to be a great year for you. I'm claiming it right now, if you don't believe it. But make sure you do whatever you got to do to move forward in this new and upcoming year. Big things are bound to happen. Don't be afraid to bend. Uncomfortable situations are designed to make you better. People who shy away from that are content. And being content in today's world means you're okay with being left behind. And if you look around you and you're alone, it's because of one or two reasons. You're leading the crowd, or the crowd is leading you. Get in the mix. Have some fun out there. You guys have a great day. I'll catch up with you on another day. But until then, I don't have a catchphrase yet. I need to work on that. I'm gonna get a catchphrase. But until then, you guys take care of yourself, okay? I'm out. Guess what? I'm not out. I'm gone. I'm flying. I'm going to the Rose Bowl.